Hi guys, it's me, Trudy Lee. How's everybody doing? Tonight it's Tuesday, July 16th. Is it the 16th? I think. I have to look. Yeah, it's the 16th. I'm pretty sure. All right, so I've had a very trying day today. It's been very difficult. I'm going to do a reading on Trump. This kind of evolved from a meditation, so I had to scribble down notes. I was getting so much information, and I was actually just doing it for myself, and then all these things started coming up. So I just decided I was going to share it. So I have scribbled down tons of notes. So I'm going to be looking at my notes because when images come so quickly, you can't even remember what you saw until you're looking down, and then it reminds you. I just got so many things coming across. But today was a difficult day, like I said. The first thing that I woke up this morning, it was so weird. I had a weird thing that happened last night. And then when I woke up this morning, I understood why. This is weird. So one thing, my husband has been, he heard something. I think it was night before last, not last night, but the night before last. He said he heard breathing right next to him. He's heard this before, but this time he said it was closer to him. And he says it's like some really deep breath, and he could hear it. And it was at night while we were asleep, and it woke him out of a sleep. He said it was so loud that he woke up. And the TV's not on, nothing's on, it's dark and everything. And he just heard this, and it really bothered him. He didn't say that it scared him, but I think it did. I asked him, did it scare you? And he goes, no, I'm not scared. But I think it really scared him and bothered him. And he got up and he could not go back to sleep. And it was so weird, I was sleepy, and I got up and I talked to him for a little bit, and he told me that he heard this breathing and all. And, I didn't know what to tell him. I didn't say anything, I was sleepy, so I didn't really know what to tell him. And I went back to sleep, and I know he tossed and turned. I kept feeling him tossing and turning. And then when I got up the next morning, I asked my spirit guide after I talked to him and everything, and he told me what happened. I asked, what is this? And this is an Indian. And I got plain as day. This is an Indian man. My husband is very open, very psychic. I always tell him that he's very psychic and open, but he's one of those ones that he's very natural, but he really doesn't know how to control it, or he doesn't know how to trust it, put it that way. So he's not really utilizing it for his own interest, or, to do anything with it, or trust it, or build on it, or expand it, So anyway, I have boundaries. I put up my boundaries. I have the white light covering me. I only allow entities that I ask to come close to me. They're the only ones that are allowed to come. Other ones stay away, and they don't bother me. And they can't, because I have a shield of protection. And he doesn't do this. And I think this Indian knows that he's open. I don't think he's not bad or anything, but he's still in a different time period. He's still in that time period where he's from. So he's trying to get my husband's attention. And I think that's one of the ways he's doing it. He knows my husband's noticing him. He's done it before. So I told my husband, you've got to protect yourself. You don't want this entity around you. Because I asked if it was his spirit guide, and I don't feel like that it is his spirit guide. That's not what I got. I don't think he's a malicious person, but it can be scary, and he could maybe, jump him or something. So I don't know, I wouldn't want him to take over his body. So I told him, you need to protect yourself. Do that. Protect yourself. I told him, if you say, I only allow the white light, love and light to come to me, that's it. You protect yourself. I said, just put the white light all over your body and say, I only allow spirits of the light to come to me and nothing else. So, and you tell that Indian, go away. I said, tell him to go away and not bother you. And you're sleeping, you don't appreciate it. Tell him to go. So we'll see what happens. So last night, that was the night before. That was the next morning. So last night, we went to bed. And he couldn't sleep. He started tossing and turning. And he got up and left the room. He left very, very quietly, and it wasn't that late. I think it was before 2 o'clock in the morning. He went, and because we don't go to bed till after 12, so we hadn't been asleep that long. It may not even been 2, but anyway, he left. And I heard the door open and close. He tried to be super quiet, but I'm very light sleeper. Anything wakes me up, so I knew he was gone. And then I started tossing and turning. I couldn't, because I knew he was up, and I wanted to tell him, come back to bed. So I started tossing and turning, and y'all can't see it. Of course, I'm asleep right here in the bed, but my closet is right there. And my closet's darker than the rest of the room. It's really dark in there, right? So when I turned at one point and I was facing that closet, I see a white light shining from the closet. I'm like, no. I got scared because, of all this talking about this Indian and everything, and it was scaring my husband. So I felt nervous. I got scared and I'm nervous. And I was like, but then I told myself it was a white light. It was like a really big white orb. So I'm thinking this is a light being. So it's not something bad. It's something good. But still, I didn't want to deal with it. I was sleepy and tired, and I didn't want to deal with it. And so I got up and I went out in the living room and told my husband, you need to come to bed. I didn't tell him what happened. I just told him because I didn't want to get him scared again. So I just told him, you need to come to bed. Come on, let's go to sleep. So he came back to bed. And when I got up this morning, the first thing that was on my phone was a good friend of ours, mother that had been very sick, had passed away. Yeah. So I was like, oh, that must have been her. She was coming to visit and she was kind of far away because she didn't want to scare me. And that would have scared me if she would have came right to me. It would have scared me. I was a little bit scared and she was in the closet, So then I started meditating on her and I talked to her and found out what was going on, and I passed it along to the family. So it was really good. It was all good. It turned out to be very, very good. So I'm not going to divulge what I said to the family and all that, but I just wanted to tell y'all. And then my husband decided that he is changing our cell phones from AT&T to T-Mobile. So he took my phone to go change it to T-Mobile, and he brought it home, and it did not work. I was mad. Of course, he said this was, he was getting a better deal from T-Mobile, so he wanted to change it. But my phone, for some reason, it wouldn't work at all. It wouldn't work. The Wi-Fi wouldn't work or anything. Nothing would come up. And I was like, oh my God, you did something to my phone. It's my nightmare, a nightmare. So I had to deal with that next. So he was like, okay, let's go to T-Mobile. Come with me now. We spent hours at T-Mobile, and I'm telling you, I had the worst headache of my life because this is my nightmare. I'm a Taurus. I don't like anything changed at all. And please don't mess with my phone. Even when I get a new phone, I hate it for like first 6 weeks or so until I'm used to it. I absolutely hate it. And so now I love the phone now because I've had it for a few years, and they finally got it working, and it's working fine now. And they gave us a little mini tower to put in our house because our phones weren't working good in the house. I don't know why, but they gave us a little mini tower, and we plugged it into our Wi-Fi, and now everything's fast and working good. So everything's okay now, but I'm telling you, it took hours. And the first guy that was working on my phone, he spoke Spanish, and a Spanish lady came in, a Hispanic lady, put it that way. And so he just tossed me aside and went to talk to her because he was the only one that could speak English. And I'm like, come back. Let her wait. I've been here for a long time. So I had to wait. And then another guy started assisting me, and he couldn't do anything. And then a third guy assisted me. And I was just like, I told my husband in front of the guy, I said, I'm going to kill you when I get home. I'm going to kill you. You don't mess with my phone. And I told him, if you have anything else you need to do with my phone, you take it, you get it fixed. You don't come home till it's fixed. You don't bring me up here. Thank God I could remember my password to my phone. It's I use my Hotmail account, and your phone is hooked to your Gmail account, but I don't use that Gmail at all. I never use it. And for some unknown reason, I could remember the password to that. Thank God. Or I wouldn't have been able to get on it at all. They're like, what's your password, ma'am? Because we just took all your data and it's gone. Everything's gone. They reset my whole phone. I was like, shit. But I remembered it. Anyway, okay, so that was how my day went. I came home, I had an enormous headache that you could not believe. I've been having these really, really bad headaches lately. I don't know what they're from, but they're horrible. I think it's like a cluster headache. I'm getting them every single day, and it lasts about an hour or so, and then it goes away. So I read up on it. Maybe you guys can give me some guidance. It said could be low on magnesium or, B12 or something like that. So I took some magnesium and B12 today and 2 Aleve with a Zantac because Aleve kills my stomach. You got to take one for the other. Anyway, so I'm talking a whole lot. Now, 11 minutes in, you heard my whole story. I'm feeling a lot better now. The Aleve has kicked in, so I didn't think I was going to be able to do a video today because I felt so rotten. But I had, earlier in the day, I had started meditating on Trump. And when I feel his energy, I am feeling this horror feeling. I mean, you ever had an experience where the worst thing in your life has happened? I mean, the worst, like you've been told somebody passed away or somebody was in a bad accident. The most horrible thing ever that's happened in your life, that pit that you feel, that horrible feeling in your stomach, that's what it is. That's what he's feeling. I mean, I felt this feeling in my stomach. Bad. I mean, bad, horrible feeling. It's horrible. Nobody could stand to live with that. I mean, when something bad happens like that and you have that horrible feeling, it's just so stressful and so horrible. You just you have to live through it, and it just gets better day by day by day. But I feel like it's not getting better for him day by day by day. It's getting worse. And it's horrible. I can't even tell y'all how horrible it is. And then I saw, I'm going to just tell you, I had to cut it off because, I don't know, I got interrupted in my meditation. My husband was still at home, so I got interrupted. But I saw a female in a shadow, in the shadows. So I feel like this person is kind of like spying on Trump. So I feel like there's somebody close to him that's spying on him. And I don't know who this is. It's somebody that's spying on him that he trusts. So I'm not sure. I'm not 100% sure, but I have this feeling that it's that Kellyanne Conway, that she's leaking stuff to the press. I feel like it's her. She is motivated by her own greed. You know what I mean? I think she'll do whatever is good for her. That's what I feel. I don't think she's so supportive of Trump as she just, she likes to be out there. She likes people to pay attention to her. You know what I mean? She's motivated by those things. I don't think she knows the difference between being famous and infamous. So anyway, so that's what I saw. And then I got interrupted. And then I started meditating again. And I was just meditating and wondering, what it is. Why is Trump, tweeting all these racial things about these House representatives? Why is he doing that? He obviously knows what he's doing. He obviously knows how this is playing out and how this sounds and how it looks. He obviously knows. So when I'm just asking, why is he doing this and what's going on? I see a cross. And it's tied. It looks like with some kind of leather cord, like instead of being nailed together, a cross being nailed together, it's tied. Sometimes you see it like that. So I see a cross. I don't know why it's a cross, but it's tied. It's tied. And then I see women. Their hands are bound behind them, tied up with the same leather, and they have a gag on their mouth. So I think what this means is He's trying to suppress, these women. He's trying to gag them. He's trying to make sure nobody will listen to him, basically. He's just trying to make them look, like he's trying to make, I guess, his base. He's trying to make his base think that they should be gagged. They shouldn't be listened to. I think that's what he's trying to do. So, okay. So right after I see that, this is so weird. Hold on one second. I'll be right back. Okay. So right after I saw that, I see, it's so weird. I see a fish and it jumps right into Trump's lap. This is so weird. I think he looks at it like this. His perspective is that he was just handed a prize. That, these ladies, because they're very vocal and they are, screaming for his impeachment and everything, they're just calling for it, that I feel like he was fishing for a way to rally his base, and he feels like this prize just jumped into his lap and that he's going to use these ladies as a dog whistle to rally his base. I think that's what this means. He thinks that the majority of the people feel the same way that he does. And I think it all really does tie in with the people at the border, because of course that's what they also had all gone down to the border, right? And he doesn't feel sorry for these people. He really doesn't. He's trying to tie this in with his base, saying these people that are coming to our border, they're just like these ladies, and we're going to have more of that. Is that what you guys want? Y'all want more of that? These people will become citizens and they'll become Democrats, and this is what's going to happen. They're going to take over your country. So he's signaling that to his base, He's tying this all together. He's very skillful. He really is. And he knows that the border is his weakness. He knows that. After that, I started concentrating on this thing with Epstein. And what does it have to do with Trump, Trump despises Epstein. He really does. But why? I keep asking myself, why? Why? And what I see is, I see a great big old screw because Epstein screwed him over. I see a big old screw. So I see a lady. She's at a screen door. She's at a screen. It's a screen door. I feel like this is kind of a beachy, tropical-y setting. And she's at a screen door and she walks out the screen door. I see her push it open and she walks away. She's leaving. So I don't know. I think that to me, that means I know what's coming next because I know what I saw next. So I'm feeling this didn't have to do with the women. So this is just telling me this didn't have to do with the women. So it had to do with something else. And then I drew a few cards and started asking some questions. The first card that I got was the Chariot. And Trump thought that he had everything under his control. I think he was with Epstein. They were doing things together and he felt secure. His guard was down. He thought he was with his friend, and, he let his guard down. He really did. And the next card I got is the Magician. So this is Epstein. He pulled a fast one on Trump. He really did. He may have been spying on him. That's what I think it was. I think he was, taking pictures. I think he was taking pictures. I was wondering if it was a video or pictures, but I do think it's pictures. I feel like these are young men. This is going to sound so weird. I know we've been talking and talking about young women, but I feel like this is a young man involved here. And then I see a young man, and then I see, this is so weird, y'all. I see a Komodo dragon, you know, one with his tongue keeps flicking out and flicking out. This is a predator, and this is Trump. Yeah. So I think Epstein must have some kind of evidence that this happened. I think he has some kind of evidence. And like I said, I think it's pictures. So I ask, is this pictures? And what I see is, I see it something wrapped in a tube. You know, I see it like a tube, wrapped up in a tube. And then I see negative strips. So it's not an actual picture, but it's the negatives. So I don't know. I see negatives. I'm not seeing what happened, but you know, when you see negatives, you have to look at them at the light to really see what's going on. And I'm not going to look exactly at them. I don't want to see them, but I see some negatives. I see the negatives, and I know what's on them, but I don't want to look at them. Okay. Then I flash on. I see a boy. He's on a boat. I feel like he's part of the crew. He's helping because he is helping to tie the boat to the dock. It's a bigger boat. You know, it's a bigger boat, maybe like a yacht, because I see the rope is really big, a lot bigger than our little boat. It's the boat, you know, the rope is really big. So he's tying it, but he doesn't have a shirt on. He's a shirtless young man, and he's tying the boat up to the dock. I'm just seeing that. So it's dark outside. It's not light. It's dark. So that's weird. Who goes out in the dark and ties a boat up in the dark? So there's something going on there. I don't know what, but that's what I'm seeing. And then I get the Hierophant card. I get this card. This is, you know, Trump's not ashamed of doing what he thinks is normal. He thinks chasing after young women and young girls is normal. He thinks that's normal. That's normal behavior. He thinks, you know, raping women and young women is normal. It's normal. If you're a playboy, if you're rich, if you have a lot of money, it's normal, and you can do anything you want. It's like the king can rape and pillage and get away with it, you know? So I think, but what he doesn't think is normal is being with boys. He doesn't think that's normal. He's very homophobic. I mean, he really is. Y'all wouldn't believe it. This is an albatross around his neck. I think this is what's causing him those feelings of just horror and freaking out. I think that's it. Because if somebody had a picture of him with a young woman, it really wouldn't bother him that much. You know, he might think he had some legal troubles to get out of, but it wouldn't cause him horror. You know what I mean? He would say, he could make up any story. He could lie about anything. I didn't know her age. You know, she lied to me. He could do all kinds of lies, and he does. He's got a lie ready for anything. But if you're with a young man, what can you say? I didn't know he was a young man. I thought he was a girl. But I think this is causing him enormous anxiety. I feel like this is what it is. It's really weird, y'all. It's really weird. So he doesn't want to be found out. He thinks this is a disgusting act. That's not me. That's not me. That's him. This is one of the ways that he identifies with the Christian right, you know, that homosexuality is abhorrent. That's what they think. And he agrees, except for he's one of those closet guys, you know. I never would have thought about that for Trump. I never, ever would have thought that was Trump's bag. You know, I don't know if this happened once or if it's happened many times or what, but I think it happened at least once. You know, I don't know if we'll ever know anything about it, if it'll ever come out, but I think this is what is truly freaking him out, truly. Because not only, I mean, this will blow everything for him. I mean, blow it wide open, wide open. for his family, for his marriage, everything. Everything. It'll be gone. Everything would be gone. Everything. So, I don't know. It's his nightmare. It's his nightmare. It really is. So, but, you know, just like all these other guys, they do it to themselves. This is the last card I drew for him. This is the Two of Swords. I feel like this was a choice that he had to make. I think that Epstein, I feel like that he was, you know, I think he told him maybe make a donation. I know he had a foundation, maybe donate to my foundation, or, you know, this information's going to come out or something. I just feel like that's his MO. I think that's his MO. I think that's how he was operating. I think that's how Epstein was making all his money. He was getting dirt on people and just, you know, it makes me wonder how somebody didn't want to whack him, you know. But if he's blackmailing all these people, how could he stay alive for this long? So I think it probably had a lot more to do with other things too, because he's tangled up in many other things, and this was just like a part of it. So I think this is what I believe. I believe that Epstein, you know, made it clear that he had some evidence of his behavior and asked him to make some kind of donation to his foundation. And I think Trump said no, because you know how Trump is. And back then, he didn't know he was going to be president. You know, he wasn't thinking about he was going to be president and everything. He just, and the reason why I know he said no, because when I asked Spirit, I said, so did Trump make a donation? You know what I saw? I saw a dump truck back up, and I saw this dirt, this dark dirt falling from the truck. And then I realized it was a pile of shit. Yeah. So no, he didn't give him shit. He did not, or he gave him a pile of shit. He didn't care. He didn't give him anything. So he wasn't worried about, you know, at that point in his life, he wasn't worried about something like that coming out. So I think that's what happened. He broke off his relationship with him after that. He completely broke it off. And of course, you know, you can imagine he hated him after that, because maybe he thought he was bluffing, that he didn't have any, you know, pictures or anything. Maybe he felt like it was a bluff. So he didn't pay him off, you know. So now Trump's freaking out. He's freaking out. And I think he's using these racist tweets to distract everyone from Epstein. He doesn't want us to be focused on this trial. He's just trying to find some other thing to focus on, and also rally his base, you know, so that they'll vote for him again. So that's what I think. This is so weird, y'all. This is so weird. So anyway, that's what I got when I was meditating. God help us, huh? There is so much crap. With that Trump, there's piles and piles and piles of things. Y'all don't know. He's done so many horrible things. He's done so many. It's just unbelievable, unbelievable. I don't know if we're ever going to find out all this stuff, if it will ever come out. But as things, you know, start playing out, I think Trump is going to start acting crazier, because he's getting freaked out. He's freaking out more and more. So I think it's just going to drive him nuts, basically. And he's just going to act out worse and worse. So, okay, guys, that's what I got for you tonight. I hope y'all enjoyed that. That was so weird. I wasn't sure if I was going to share it with y'all or not, because it's totally weird. It's totally weird. But I actually would prefer more to do meditations and just go with my visions and just let y'all know what I'm seeing and what's going on. I feel like I can trust them. I can trust my visions more than I can trust. A lot of times when you look at the cards, your ego mind tries to tell you what it means, you know, because we learn what the cards mean. And sometimes Spirit is just trying to get you to say something, just by the look of the card. And then we'll have somebody else that will see my video and say, well, this card meant that. But when you're, you're going with your own psychic instincts and you're interpreting it on your own. So I may be doing more of this, and we'll see what else will come out, because I feel like this is more interesting and we get more information this way. And hopefully I'll have more to share later on. Okay, guys, that's it for now. I think that's enough. It's been 30 minutes. Sorry I took all your time. Thank you for watching my videos. I appreciate it. If you guys would like to get a reading with me, I have a summer special going for $25. You get a nice reading. It could last 30 minutes because you know I like to talk. So it's a good deal. It's really a good deal. Just contact me at trudyleetarot@hotmail.com. Okay? And if y'all like my videos, please subscribe to my channels. Hit the bell to be notified of the next one coming out. And if you liked it, hit the like button. Okay, guys, do something kind for somebody. It'll always come back to you. Y'all take care now. Bye.